support client decision-making processes. I'm a public speaker with competency and exposure in facilitation, and I have participated as a speaker in local and international events. I have been a volunteer mentor for Sightsaver, where I mentored young people living with disabilities. I am a volunteer for Plug Smile Foundation and Educational and Welfare NGO. I'm a top 100 career women in Nigeria 2022. That's 9 to 5 chick. I have been a member of Strategic Planning and Implementation Committee of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. In that capacity, I contributed towards the valuable proposition benefit to the operations and delivery of human capital management in Nigeria and Africa. I am passionate about people, travel, networking, writing, and public speaking. I'm a regular writer on LinkedIn. I am the founder and the lead faculty of TechMaster. I am a mental health advocate, and I have contributed on HR and employment-related matter for newspaper like Punch and TechPoint. Please, with a round of applause, can we welcome our facilitator for this evening? Let's give a round of applause to our facilitator for this evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Olayemi, but as you were reading it, and you can say, I'm like, do you want to become me, or we should exchange? Because you kept using the word I instead of she. I'm like, is Olayemi trying to trade places with me? You know, there's this, I can't remember a movie like that they were twins, and the brother who was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think maybe Robin Williams or something, and they trade places. They were twins, and they were confusing people. The one that was the dwarf was quite short, and the other one was quite a giant, and people were, the one that was short was troublesome and all of those things. The one that was taller was somebody that was more composed and everything, and he kept putting him into trouble, trading places and all of that. So that was on a lighter note. Thank you very much for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bolaji Shote, like they say, but I choose to call myself, please feel free to call me Beautiful Bolaji, or feel free to call me Beautiful Audacious Bolaji, a name I just got recently by someone who is also a member of this Association of Elite Human Resources Professional. She's my friend and someone that I really respect in the industry. And you know what, one session that I had with her, she said, you know what, I think we have to, I'm renaming you today. And since she renamed me, I took the name with all my heart because I like it. Okay, so welcome everyone. Today we'll be talking about talent management. Please, I'm going to rather fundamentals of talent acquisition. So I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. I can't share my screen. So if you can kindly enable me to share my screen, that would be nice. Okay, great. I think I can now.
We can see your screen now.
Amazing. So let's just, today we'll be talking about fundamentals of talent acquisition. I kid you not, if anyone will tell you that talent acquisition is fundamental to all parts of HR. HR in itself is about talent acquisition, and it's not about just getting the talent alone. It's also how do you get them? What are the things that you put in place? And most importantly, in the light of Japa or Japada, as it were, because I mean, a lot of people, the wave of Japa is going a bit down, unlike before. Of course, people are saying different factors have contributed to it. The skyrocketing dollar exchange and all of that, you know. And but aside that, there's people who have jackpot and they are coming back. And if we're going to be able to get the best from those people, these are some of the things that it will be pertinent, whether as an institution or as an HR professional, that we should start thinking about. I'll try to do as best as I can, and I have an hour to do what I need to do. And I'll try. Please let me know when my time is up so that I can, at any point in time, just try to wrap up. And I thought of it. I said, should I go again? Because I only have an hour and all that. But I said, you know what? I'm going to try to do as best as I can. So we're going to be talking about overview of what talent acquisition, why it is important in human resource management, the tools and strategies for effective talent acquisition processes, and challenges that are faced in talent acquisition. So what is talent acquisition? Is an end-to-end process. And it is about the process of not only attracting, but finding first. Then when you find, you attract, and then you hire skilled individuals to fulfill organization needs and roles within a company. I remember, I'm a storyteller, so I'll be telling a lot of stories. I remember a point in time, I used to work for an organization in the financial services sector, and there was a particular role that we were trying to recruit for. In all the years that I spent in that place, we rarely could find someone to recruit for that role. It was that bad. And what was the challenge? First of all, most people were not studying that role because it was a hard to fill role. It was very technical, very specialized, and not many people want to study that role. So even in the whole of Nigeria, I'm sure you can count how many people are in that role. And then you now have jackpot where they're paying these people dollars. A lot of them are just going abroad to go and it's not a tech role, by the way. It's a role in insurance. So it involves strategies such as recruitment, networking, employer branding, candidate evaluation to ensure the right people are brought into the organization. Why? So that you can be able to have the right people in the role. And talent acquisition does not only fill current job vacancies, but to also anticipate future talent requirements and build a strong workforce. When I say future talent requirements, this is all encompassing. You have to put things like retirement, people that will, I mean, in this day and age that we live, there are people that are in director roles that are resigning from organizations too as well. When they resign, what happens to that space? What plan have you made to, ensure that, I mean, the gap in that place is filled? And then you have people that are not even, it's not for jackpot, it's not for anything, but they're saying, you know what? I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I want to run my own thing. I want to do my own business. We have, is the trend where many more people, unlike the days of our parents in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s, where people sit in a job and retired. These days, employees are as mobile as you can think of. They will even tell you that if somebody does 1 year with you as an organization, please celebrate the person 1 year, because people are as flighty as ever. And to be honest, you can't really blame them, for a lot of factors are contributing to that. Is it the Gen Zs we want to talk about? Those people are so restless, they want to do things. And if the proper things are not in place within that workspace, they are bound to leave. They will be looking for the next opportunity. They stay 6 months. Maybe you say, I will increase your salary, I will do this, I will do that. And you're not doing those things. Those who are, they are packaging and looking for the next exit strategy. So it's all encompassing. It talks about recruitment planning, process, compliance, talent segmentation, metrics analytics, even outsourcing and employer branding. This is the way it goes in terms of you plan, you source, people apply, you screen them, you select, and then you onboard them. You onboard them into the organization. And let me say this without fear of contradiction. Each one of these roles cannot be taken with levity. You can, at any point in time, if you don't get it wrong, if you don't take it as serious business, you will lose those talents at any point in time. It may be at sourcing, it may be at during the application process, even screening process, even selection, even onboarding. Onboarding is as critical as every other thing. Some people make up their mind whether they want to remain in an organization at the onboarding process. So from week 1, you already have an employee that is looking for an exit. They say, let me just sit here. And to be honest, even if we're talking about it, it could happen to even the best of us. I have joined an organization where I worked there for 3 years, but I knew that I wasn't going to stay in that organization. Some people say about 2 years is a lot. I was learning in the 2 years, but I was looking for something else because I knew I didn't see myself long term in the organization. And it started from the point about people are different. And I've made up my mind that, you know what, while I'm here, I will do all I can within my power. But the way I'm seeing these people, this is not the kind of place that I want to end my career. And that's how a lot of people think. So let's talk about planning. You have to define your talent needs. You need to align them with business objectives and create fantastic job description. You know, even as people might think that, oh, job description or even job title does not matter. Hey, human beings, it matters to a lot of people. You'll be shocked. I used to work in an organization that our junior level roles, the way we presented those jobs, there is no how people will see the jobs and they will not apply. We made them like drivers. We used to call them destination assurance executive. So they are not just drivers as per drivers. You see that role, destination executive. And people see it and they see what you're meant to do, that your job is to ensure the safety of the life that you are moving from one place to the other, which then involves other things. So even the way you create the job description, everything about the job, we'll talk about whether people will be interested in applying for the role or not. And even about the manpower planning, when are you bringing them, at what level? I knew when I was recruiting for a particular role, the lady said, you know, they're not giving me a director role. I'm not taking it. Unfortunately, that role was not a director role. So you can see that even the job description, oh, so who is my reporting line? Even in job description, I need to know what my reporting line is. Again, like I said, I'm a storyteller, and I will use practical example. I was trying for a role, and they told me in that role I was going to report to the COO. I refused to apply for the role. I said I'm not interested. And the lady said, "Oh, why? Your CV came highly recommended." I said, "I'm not going to report to a COO. The COO is not the vision carrier of the organization. If I'm going to be head of HR, then I'm going to report to the CEO." So even in matching jobs, reporting structure, all of those things, they are as important as the job those people are coming to do as well. So let's talk about identifying potential candidates. This is my job. This is what I do. Like I recruit on a day-to-day basis. And these days, sometimes you put out job roles, people are not going to apply. You now have to start looking for how you're going to get those people, how you're going to reach out to them. And they will be asking you nitty-gritty questions that you must be able to answer. What is my growth going to be like in the organization? And I'm saying at the sourcing process, so you are not even saying whether first of all, let me even see your CV, whether I'm even going to shortlist you. In the process of looking out or reaching out for them, you will find all of those things. Okay, so you can use referrals. I worked in an organization where 70% of the recruitment was referrals. And I would go for referrals because you know what? Yes, it's good for people to, apply for jobs and all of those things. But when people refer people for jobs, there is a relationship management there. I will not misbehave, for instance. Well, I mean, people will not misbehave. Some people eventually do, but it's minimal compared with somebody that you don't know from anywhere. If people, they were telling us in the organization, refer your friends, refer your family members, refer people that you know could work in the organization. What does that tell you? You're kind of like creating a workplace where people that are known, that you can track their record in terms of, in terms of their capabilities, all of those kind of things. You get to go through the process. Don't forget, they're still sourcing for them. They're going to go through the entire process. But I mean, that's one of them. People refer people. My friend, I know that there's a role somewhere. Are you looking for a job? And in the process of what I've done, people have been referred to me and they've gotten jobs. A lot of people. So it works a lot. And then talent database. Then you now talk of screening. How do you want to screen them? Are they going to be a culture fit? There are sometimes when someone is okay, someone might have the skill, might have the educational qualification, or might not be a fantasy for the organization. I was recruiting for a multinational company, and I mean, so I was working with expatriates and things like that. And one of the candidates who came for a particular role there, the only reason why that expatriate did not go ahead with that person, she was like, this person is not a culture fit. This organization is going through what I want to be sorry, but a new level of growth. They are setting up new strategies. They want to do new things for themselves. So by the time you bring somebody who is now, the question they were asking him in the interview, he's still talking like somebody in 2020, not 2019 something. And this is 2020, whatever. You understand? We're in 2020 something, 21st century, and you're giving them things that they probably done before, that maybe did not work for them, maybe did not work for them, right? Or, I mean, things that is not aligned to what they want to do, their vision, their mission as an organization, as it is right now. So, I mean, you have to look at that and do interviews. Is possible assessment. Oh, trust me, a lot of assessments, aptitude tests, and the rest of them. Some organizations still do that. So then you talk of onboarding. Onboarding is everything, because it's like a marriage. It's like engagement. It's like your wedding day. Wedding day does not have to be elaborate, like we say. You know, these days, the kind of weddings that you see, you'll be like, with all the social media paparazzi. But that's the way onboarding is, because, I mean, it's a union between employer and employee. And it must be a great wedding, trust me. You see some onboarding ideas that people have put in place, and you'll be like, wow, great. You put all of those branding and everything, branded souvenirs and all of that, things that you have, your laptop and all of that. When I give you iPhone, do all of those things. It's part of the onboarding process to say, you know what, in this marriage, you're not going to come and be suffering here. I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to give you what it takes for you to thrive. The employer and the employee marriage, relationship, and that kind of thing. So on the wedding day, money shows the day. If your people come and on wedding day you can't even give them food to eat, it shows that there's a problem somewhere. So everything that you do, I mean, people need to be organized. So everything from their first day, let them have their emails ready. Let people that are in the organization. I joined an organization that nobody knew I was coming that day. Just felt like, I mean, it was not so bad for me because I knew they had never had the presence of HR there. But even at that, I was still expecting that somebody would say, "Oh, you are welcome." Nobody welcomed me. I was just feeling like, I mean, these people are not happy that I came to this organization. So you can imagine if you are not paying attention to your own body. People should know already that somebody is joining that organization. The person should be welcome on their first day. They should not be looking like lost souls, like they are strangers. In the new marriage is a bad omen. If people come on to your organization and their onboarding experience is not good, it's from that day that they will start saying, I'm not sure I want to say. When people are looking at me like, who is this? They don't even know me and all of that. It's very important. They are not prepared for my coming. So onboarding includes training, supporting for smooth transition and alignment with company culture and goals. You need to take them through an onboarding process so that when they come in, they are not struggling with how do we send mails here? How do we address people here? How are the things that they are doing there? Everything should be in the onboarding process where they are taking through that journey of, what is expected of them, how things are done in the organization, and most importantly, how to navigate the environment. In fact, some organizations create things like work body system, where I have somebody who is already in the organization, sometimes in the same team as myself or as that individual, and work with the person through the journey. It makes it seamless. It's easy for the person to acclimatize to the work environment rather than the person comes and does look everybody looking at the person as if you are a thief in the organization, or you are one stranger that is trying to come and like, okay, that's what I'm here for. It's very, very important how we welcome people into the organization and also how we orientate them and integrate them into the organization. The first 90 days of people are the most critical part of the organization. Their stay in the environment is within that journey, and they will have started saying, okay, I'm just waiting for what they call probation period. I will jack out because these people are doing this. Look at the way that everybody is doing meeting, people are shouting on themselves. All those things are very, very important. Let's move on. Talent acquisition versus recruitment. Talent acquisition, it takes a more strategic and long-term approach to building a pipeline of qualified candidates for present and future needs. You're not just considering bringing the person. Recruitment is just filling immediate job vacancies. And trust me, I'm a recruiter. It is a very difficult job because if there is no talent acquisition strategy part of the client, you will just be recruiting, and it's like putting water in a basket. You want to put water in a basket. As you are putting it, there's an exit plan for those people. They will not stay because there's no proper talent acquisition strategy. Then let's talk about talent. Talent acquisition emphasizes employer branding, relationship building, and proactive sourcing to attract top talent, while recruitment is a bit more reactive. Well, not totally, but it's just focused on now. Fill the position now. It's just something about what you are doing currently. Why? Talent acquisition is forward-thinking, long-term approach. If COVID comes, what will we do? There is rumor that another whatever is coming. When it comes, how are we going to manage it? How are people going to work? Are we going to continue hybrid? Are we going to go full-time? What are we going to do? Is AI going to join a lot of things? If you don't, let me not be recruiting people. As they are recruiting them, they will be exiting because there is no proper talent acquisition strategy to manage those people. Now let's talk about employer branding. It means establishing a positive employer brand that will attract top talent and differentiate the organization as an employer of choice. Do you know that there are some employers today, if perhaps for any reason, and I say this without fear of favor, if a recruiter tells a candidate that I am recruiting for this company, trust me, nobody wants to work. Nobody will work for that company. I have an experience that I'm going to share with you. And the experience is just as simple as this. And I say, one of the reasons why I decided I was going to do my own thing is I believe that there's a lot that can be done in the workspace about certain things, right? And when I'm relating with my clients, I'm not just thinking of myself as a recruiter or the money I want to make. I'm thinking of those people too, the people that are being recruited. And here is somebody that I wanted to recruit for this company. And the company was telling me, were telling me rather, that people need to do ABC, XYZ. And I felt, this is not going to attract anybody. You tell me I should go and bring my bank statement. Why? Those things are getting outdated. Nobody, you have what you want to pay for the goal. You have a budget for the goal. In fact, some people will not even take part in the, once you tell them what's the budget, you say, okay, maybe like 10 to 12 million. Sorry, I'm already earning 25 million. So, I can't do it. And so because of that, it is very important that you need to have a positive employer brand. If not, it will be very difficult to attract candidates. And when you attract them, they're not going to use you as stepping stone to success. They will come, trust the Gen Zs. In fact, they can come on that day and resign on that day. We've heard of, there was one on one HR group. The person has even signed up to 1 week. The person has resigned. Do you want that? Do you know the manpower, the hours, the energy, the effort that has been put into place? And some of all these things are very important for you to differentiate yourself as an employer of choice. And then you must make data-driven decision making. One of the data-driven decision making that you need to use, what are talents saying that they want? See, these days, people want less of money and more of peace of mind and an environment that is safe for them. Stop. I took a poll on LinkedIn. The top things people want is not even money again in a job. People are taking pay cuts to go and do jobs that, something that I enjoy doing. They might be giving me money in this area, but that's not what I want to do. I do a session called one-on-one with Balaji. And I had a session yesterday with one of my clients, and the client works for a big organization. Like when you say big, you say big. And this person is saying, you know what? I want out because it's not what I was meant to come and do. When I got there, it was not what I came to come and do. And we have a lot of all of those things. What are you doing with as an HR person? What are you doing with the exit, your exit form, exit interviews? What people put there? When I used to work for at my last workplace while I was in Nigeria, I used to do something like a report on a quarterly basis. You will see what were the agencies were they jackpotting, or were they going because of work hours, or you have too many meetings, or the managers they're not managing them very well. Don't take, if the managers are not managing them very well, maybe you need to take those managers for training. Maybe you need to sit and have a discussion with them, because if in a team, in one quarter, like 4 people have exited from under a particular manager, it's a very difficult situation. You need to start thinking of what are you going to do to ensure that all these loopholes are covered. It is very important. And the purpose of using this data is to use it to measure your performance in terms of how are we recruiting, what is our attrition rate, and then you can improve your recruitment process. Some people will tell you that one of the reasons why they are going is that if you are meant to be confirming people at 6 months, and most people in the organization don't get confirmed till they reach 1 year or 1.5 years, There's a problem. And people can leave because of that. I have left an organization because at the time I was meant to be confirmed, I was not confirmed. And they started doing like this, doing like this, doing like this. Of course, exit strategy. I met it before that exit strategy. And that's how people can be sometimes. So we must pay attention to those data so that we can make data-driven decisions. It's like, let us look at the facts. What are people saying? Look at the trends, look at the analysis, and then infer your decision from there. Let's talk about candidate experience. Oh my goodness. This is a very, very important aspect. Providing a similar and positive. Some people will ghost candidates, ghosting, of course, ghosting sometimes. Me as a recruiter, I have suffered in the hands of both employer and candidate. An employer will tell me, you know what, I want this role to be filled and everything, and then you go out, you do the entire recruitment process. You present to see, they make decision now. They are not responding. They are not coming back. Some of them will not even come back. I say, we have decided not to go with that role again. Do you know the bad image it creates for me as a recruiter? And it is you that the recruiter that has got to meet those people. They'll say, we attended interview with your company. I say, hey, I am a recruiter for the company, and I don't make the decision for the people at that place. You can only, advise them and tell them what to encourage them to do the right thing. But I mean, it can bring serious reputational risk, and I have had to sever a business relationship because of that. But done a lot of interviews, and the client was just going back and forth, not being straightforward. And I told myself, no way, if my reputation matters more to me than the money I'm going to make from this. And I exited. But I mean, that's not something that a lot of people do. But your candidate experience is very, very important. You must be able to, keep in touch with them, give them a good interview experience when they come for interviews. And then you need to have pipeline, manage your talent, have a talent pipeline management. So I'm putting for a now. There's a young man that I was recruiting for another company, but that company not me, the recruiter, myself, the candidate. Of course, I still went back to the person. I maintained the relationship to say, oh, I now have a new role that I think might interest you. Would you be interested? I didn't even need to go through the entire process. I just need to take it and give it to the next client. So you need to nurture relationship with your potential candidate, create a pool of qualified talent for current and future hiring needs. Even when you are not recruiting, still keep the lines open. You might get CVs that people for organizations that have career sites, just be keeping it. Maybe one day you might just realize that you might need that person's CV. Okay, it's all encompassing when we talk about talent management. It's about it involves attracting them, developing them. One of the things that people take and hold dearly to their hearts in a job is learning and development. People would rather take less money and have an opportunity to develop. I think one of the jobs that gave me my most development, it didn't pay me, the job didn't pay me as most money, but I don't think there's any job that has paid me as that job before. And today, even though I say, oh, they didn't pay me, I might not necessarily have gotten promotion or something, but they trained me. When I say train, they stretched me. They made me grow beyond reason. I was doing all the big four. I did projects with them. I did all of those things that I always tell people, when you have an opportunity to earn or to learn, depending on where you are in your career, please learn it. And that's why internships are very, very good, because you will gain a lot, you will learn a lot. And I always tell young people as well, whatever you learn cannot be taken away from you. So always, if somebody that is managing talent management process, you don't have a development plan, it will be very serious. You will not be able to meet your goal. Now everybody is complaining about Japa. Meanwhile, this Japa thing has been, at least it's not something new. It was just in the last 2-3 years, the whole thing just flew up in everybody's faces. I was with a group of CEOs. I went for a cocktail event, and we got talking, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm an HR consultant." And this jackpot, what are we going to do about it? I said, there's no two ways about it. You have to train people. Organizations who train will not be suffering too much from this jackpot. And I kid you not, because the moment you are training people, when people are exiting, because there is already a development plan that people key into when they join the organization, you won't be having that gap. There will be people that can train people, you can expose people to learning, invest in learning and development. Can I invest in learning and development? When I now train them, they will now go. Ask yourself, if you don't train them, whether you train or you don't train, they will still go. But the benefit of training is the fact that when they go, your business, there will be business continuity. You will not be do my work for me. That's the advantage. And then you need to optimize the performance of the employees' organizational goals. All of these things involve career planning, succession plan. There are roles that Japa, no successor. Once that person exits, you know what they call key man risk. Once the person exits like this, that's the end. Nobody to fill the role in the organization. Nobody has the skill, nobody has the experience, nobody has, even if he might not get at least let there be somebody in-house that can be identified to manage that role. Maybe when you do substantive recruitment, or maybe not, the person can grow into the role with learning and development. You talk about forecasting demand of talent. HR professionals can practically address skill gaps. What skill gaps do we have? What succession risk do we have? Let me tell you one of the succession risks that you have. If in an organization you have a great manager, and I'm talking of real life experiences. Oh, maybe, let me look for somebody's name on this. Maybe Ifeanyi is a great manager, and Janet and Joba and Juliet report to Ifeanyi. You know that the risk that you are going to have is not just it's likely that all those other people too, if he's such a great manager and the organization is not conducive for them, all of them, they will pack themselves and go. It has happened. I have experienced it where an entire team disappeared. And trust me, it is not that all of them jackpot. No, in fact, none of them jackpot. It was just the fact that if our boss is like the person that makes the workplace engaging and interesting for us as God, what are we doing here? All of them too started looking out. So once you have all the key man risk is there, succession key man risk. In fact, they used to tell us in risk at the time that once you see somebody that is prominent in a team, the person resigns, start making arrangements, because it means that some people might also be resigning as well. So you need to be able to plan the recruitment challenges that you will face. These days now, you know that this week, another organization wanted to do interviews for a particular role, project management role. 3 candidates stood us up. They will tell us, well, last minute after people are already on the interview, they'll say they're not interested in it. I don't even know the breed of people that we have these days. It's actually not funny anymore. I mean, these challenges are so real. And guess what? You have to manage them. Do you have another person? So the person says, oh, sorry, I cannot make it. Okay, can you, if the person, that's the nice one that will say, can you make it next week? Okay, you're the boss now. Anytime you tell us, we do it. You have to put all those recruitment challenges in place. Some people will immediately, you call them, the first question they will ask you, is it a remote role or is it they'll say, I'm not interested. If you don't have hybrid or fully remote, I'm not interested in a full on-site role. So now it has become a recruitment challenge. You have to be asking people, depending on what the client says, if it's a full-time role, say it is a full-time on-site role, would you be willing? And they'll say, I'm willing. So at least you know that they are willing. Some of them say, I'm not willing. And what would you do? You move on to the next person. So all of this ensures the organization have the talent that they need to achieve the strategic goals, adapt to changing market conditions. All these challenges will not always be. Things are going to change. Nigeria is a developing economy, and things will happen in the next few years. The AI, everything will be going on and on and on. And then you need to adapt yourself so that you can maintain a competitive edge. If not, your company is likely to be swallowed. That's the bad part of it. Oh, no. Don't. My screen is hanging. Concurrent slide. Okay. Now, let's talk about the essentials. Let's talk about the essential approach, rather, of talent acquisition in international human resources management. You have to think of diverse cultural context, complying with local labor laws and regulations, addressing language barriers. Managing, I'm laughing because these are things that I have experienced. I'm managing cross-border recruitment processes. There's this joke when I was working in the UAE, when you're working with Indians, you hardly can hear their English. In fact, they will say some things sometimes. You have to go and use your brain to process that. I don't even understand what this person is saying at all. That language barrier. You say, me, you go, you don't go, me coming, understanding coming, me go, you go, you go. You'll be wondering, what are they saying? The way they will even speak, Pakistani and people like that. You have to start training yourself. In fact, I started speaking like them to be able to understand them. So all of those kind of things, the labor laws and regulation in Nigeria is completely different from Botswana, is different from Kenya, even Ghana. So when you are recruiting, you need to pay attention to all of those things, especially for business operations that you have in those places. There are some things that will be, and that's why they said, think global, but act local. That's local. You have to have that local approach to talent management. The way you can handle a resilient Nigeria in terms of culture. Nigerians are resilient. They've been through so many things and they keep like bouncing back because they are resilient. You can't try it with people in Botswana. They will leave your job for you, and who will do the job for you? Like when I used to, manage operations for my organization, I used to get irritated, and they'll tell us, you know what, we have to manage them like that. Hey, manage what? Somebody has done something bad and you still manage the person. In fact, they will show you shege, and you will still have to pay them on top of that. It's in Nigeria that somebody say, oh, I'm not doing that. It's different in another place. So managing cross-border recruitment processes, a strategic approach to international talent manager enables organizations to access a diverse talent pool, expand into new markets, and capitalize on global opportunities while mitigating risk and ensuring compliance. For instance, and I will take an example, the Nigerian labor law says leave days, I think it's about 12 days in a year, if not less, or 6 days. 6 days leave. Once you give somebody 6 days, in fact, you're a king in the jungle. So most organizations don't do best practice. But you can never, ever try that in maybe Ghana, for instance. Their standard maybe like is about 20-something days. That's what you must give people. So you have business in Nigeria, in those places. What are you going to do? How are you going to manage it? There are some places like the UAE, there's nothing like pension. People don't get pension, and there's nothing like tax. People get all their money. So when you're giving them money, take everything. It's not like you come and start doing tax calculation. You don't have that stress. No tax calculation in that. This is 30% tax. No tax. All the income they make, you give them 100% that income. And if you try anything funny, trust me, they in fact, they know how to do that thing easily. Because you don't even need money to go and report your employer. In fact, they to give you lawyer free of charge to help you fight your employer. Even though that's another case for another day. But I'm just saying that, I mean, those things are there that you need to pay attention to. Sorry, I don't know what is wrong with my head. Is my slides are hanging. Okay, so really, I just want to talk about tools and strategies. You have the ATS tracking system that helps you in resume passing, candidate tracking, communication management, how you relate with the candidates, the benefits. I love the ATS because it will help you catch. There are some people that they've applied for 100 roles within the same. The thing will just trigger it. It triggers it. You know that this person has applied for this role before. In fact, some people will do abracadabra. Maybe their name is Tolu, Bolaji, BC. They will now put BC, Tolu, Bolaji, the same name, they align it in different ways, just to, but the thing will, it will pick it up to say this person, so you don't need to be able to check who is the person, blah, 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 and all of those things. The person or a separate person, because you have people that bear exactly the same name. You now need to know. In fact, there was a recruitment that I did, and the person was recruited eventually. The person had the exact name with the person that left. So, but I mean, that's a story for another day. So, but you need to be able to filter it to know that, I mean, there's no connection, it's just a coincidence. And that way you will not be able to, you know, disqualify candidates based on that. You can check to be sure that, I mean, people are who they say they are and all of those things. Candidate relationship management, CRM softwares that help you to nurture passive candidates, reduce time to fill, and improve candidate experience. There's something that they call relationship. Even if something has not happened now, you can just start be building relationship with the person. Even in business, people do it. When you're doing business, it's not the first time you market to somebody that the business will just click that way now. Some people, you in this business I'm doing, sometimes you prospect an organization for maybe 3 or 4 months before they eventually become your customer. So you think of candidates in that manner, and you have to, like, you know, and that's again, remember I said it's like a marriage relationship or dating, where, you know, you toast the lady. If she likes, she might not agree. In fact, try and be reaching out to them to sometimes, what's going on, hope everything is good, blah blah blah. You know, the funniest, the good part about that, when you have a relationship with them, when they make or you need, it's easier for you to reach out again to people that you already know, and strangers that they like, who is this one and all that. And somebody you already have a relationship, they will be the one that will be like, you know, I'm trying to move, what can I do, and all of those kind of things. Job boards and career websites where, you know, you can optimize job posting, have compelling job descriptions. You know, I talked about that. It's very, very important. There are some job descriptions that it is the way they sound that is not making it attractive to people. You can actually have people, the people will just say, what kind of job is that? If you say now that administrative clerk, clerk, what is that? Clerk. No, who is still using clerk in this whatever? Be a clerk. But you know, the same job can be redefined. If you know that, I mean, maybe it's a clerical job, and there's not bad at the clerical job. But the way you will present it, the way you present the job, to say, and the opportunities that will be on the job, so the person can move from this to, you know, maybe HR or become an executive assistant. People, we want to do that one. It's not all the time that people look for now. And that's why they usually say that women like to go to Olorun Shogo. Pardon me, I'm a Yoruba woman. But there's always Surulere. And I'll tell you, it's proverbial. Meaning that people want to go, they don't want to stay with start from and they want already employment is like that. But meanwhile, some people will be like, no, I want to start with this company. It's not about the money. I want an opportunity to be able to say I'm part of the success story of this company. And those are the kind of things that you give them, an opportunity for people to grow in their role. I may start out as an accountant and I might end up, they must have a clear career path. I might end up as a CFO. It's not where I start from that matters, because I know that even if I start from that place and I have a growth path, I will stay there now. I will stay there. At least I know of, it happened in FedEx. Go and check the story. I forgot the name of the woman right now. She started as a receptionist and she became the CEO of the company. So people, it's not all the time that people are looking for, oh, I want to be the boss. I have left roles that I was head there to go and take roles that I was not head because of learning and exposure opportunity. Oh, this industry will give me. And that's how we should think of when we're trying to attract people into our organization. Social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you can get candidates from all of those places. Create engaging content, participate in industry discussions, and showcase your company culture to attract passive candidates. Let me say a caveat here. Please ensure that whatever image you are creating outside, it is not different from what you have inside, because that is what puts away most people. Don't go and lie to them that, see, I went for a job interview and I was grateful that they were very open to me. Immediately I attended that interview, I knew I couldn't work for that company. And even they themselves, they decided that they didn't get back to me, and I was very grateful. I asked them a question. Excuse me. I said, what is working like here in the organization? And they were like, well, it's very stressful. I'm a hard worker. I can work like anything. But please don't come and be telling me things like that. It already shows me. If my antenna goes up that, oh, no, this is a toxic organization. Imagine that interview. You are already telling me. But it was good, but it shows the kind of organization it is. You're telling me, oh, we work a lot in this place. It's all about work, 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 work. I said, there's no any engaging activity. What are the opportunities for learning? Are the one that is going to bring the learning? Even if I'm going to do it, most of the job I've done in my life, I'm still the one that comes to put things there. But at least don't come and give me that vibe. And the way the expression was being done, I looked at that person. I'm like, this is an HR person? Really? Thank you. So please, it is very, very important, because you can attract them. And then when they come and see that what you take for them from outside is different, it will become Battle of Mustanga. And you don't want that. Assessment tools and employment testing that you need to evaluate their skills, their competencies, their cultural things, so many things, their personality assessment. There is nothing as important as that. I tell people, somebody can be a good fit in terms of the job, but poor personality. I still conducted some interviews this afternoon, and there was one lady who came to the interview. Of all the people that came, she would show my client shaking, and I did not recommend her. She had a very poor personality. Like the way she was just doing, you could feel that personality, that this one is a case of, all these people that they call ITK. I too know. It's going to try to come and be proving and all of those things. And that environment, I know that client too. it's not being a great union. You know, the job of a recruiter is like you're a matchmaker. You're trying to matchmake a man and a woman together. You yourself as a matchmaker, think very well. This organization, will it go with this individual? This individual, will they be able to go? See, there are times when the individual, nothing is wrong with them, but when you look at the kind of organization it is, you say, no, this person cannot work for this kind of organization. If the person is laid back and the environment is fast-paced, excuse me, that might spell trouble as well. So you have metrics. I've talked about metrics before. Things like cost per hire, quality of your candidate, applicant satisfaction, your retention rate. By doing metrics, by setting metrics and knowing, that's what they call KPI, that you're using for all of those time to fill. How long does it take you to fill a role? One of the places that I worked in, we had a 3-month window because those roles that I used to recruit for at the time were very hard to fill roles. So you give a space of within 3 months, you must have filled the role. You know, you have to be able to set all of those things. So strategies for adapting recruitment practices to diverse language, building diverse recruitment teams, leveraging local network and community partnership. I worked in an organization that it was that local network that they were using in getting the right candidates for the job. And it really worked, especially for places where maybe you are just starting out your business in such locations. Cultural awareness training for recruiters. There are some things, you know, even the people that, even not only for recruiters, even for the people that will be on the interview panel. There are some questions you don't ask people in interviews that is embarrassing. You don't ask those kind of questions of people. Face the job. Face the reason why they are there. Don't ask people embarrassing questions. Are you married? How many children do you have? You can't even do that in some countries. It will be a problem. They'll say, what is your age? Are you going to use that as a yardstick for the job? You know, and the way you even present those things also matters. You must be cultural. There's what you call cultural quotient. For how you can recruit in Kaduna is different, or Sokoto is different from how you can recruit in Lagos. There are two different separate environments. So you need to be culturally aware. You know, strategies for building a robust database, proactively source candidates, segment them based on skills, experience, and qualification. Engage with passive candidates. There are some candidates that, you know, that until you go and meet them, that's why you hunt. You go and meet them. They will not come and meet you. It is when you go and meet them that they to the analysis. Maybe they've been in the Lions there, but they don't know they're in Lions there. But because somebody came to meet them, that, you know what, I have a good role, and they're not say, so me to have just been here since, and there's opportunity. That's when they will recognize and take the opportunity. So by also engaging with passive candidates, you will be helping a lot of people. Conducting a review of the hiring process, which includes evaluating each stage of the recruitment life cycle. How effective are your job posting? How effective are your recruitment channels? These days, you have to use all methodologies to ensure that you use your referrals, you use the WhatsApp, use your social media, everything that you have. In fact, sometimes you will have a job able to get from there. It is referral that will give you, it's through referral or through an HR group that you're in, you post the job. Somebody say, I know somebody that can do the job. It's even easier for you that way. So you need to build a network, candidate experience, not just candidate engagement, but experience. What's the total experience from how, when you meet with them to when they complete the job? How did you engage them? If the experience is not good, you are not engaging, you are not warm, you are just talking to them as if they are the ones that need a favor from your mom. These things have changed. Things are no longer as it used to be, where employers will be feeling like they are just there. Like, you know what? It's my place as an employer in charge. No, it is a symbiotic relationship. I am also offering my skill to you, because there are other employers too that might that want me as well. So you need to be able to manage me and engage me, give me a good experience, give me a reason why I should work for you. The same way you are also asking me as an employer that I should give a reason to work with you. We talked about feedback from hiring managers, recruiters, and candidates. Challenges faced in talent acquisition. And I start to round up. You talk about talent scarcity. The demand for highly skilled professionals often exceeds the available supply. That's the truth. I said that road through and from the beginning to the end of that. I never saw, and it's not a tech role, trust me. So sometimes everybody cannot be in the tech space. We still need HR managers, we need social media managers, we need, name it, we need facility management. Do you want to go into a building that will now collapse? You need everybody. Every job role that has been created is for a purpose. So because of that, and some are even more hard to fill. You want to get, there was one of my clients, architects, to get architects. It's like trying to put a horse to go through the eye of a needle. That's how it is to get architects. And they are like, the challenge is even that most of them don't want to do regular 9-to-5 job. They want to do consulting, so they can consult with 10 people. Why do I want to be in one outfit and be collecting peanuts from a particular company? So you need to be able to know in certain industries and specialized roles. I have a joke. It's not a joke, it's a real life story. So for instance, you are looking for ask people who work in oil and gas sector or shipping line. All those their jobs are so hard to fill. And I had this joke, and you'd hardly find women in such roles. When I was in the university, in mechanical engineering, my best friend and her cousin, her first cousin or second cousin, they were the only two females in mechanical engineering. Let me shock you. By the time they got to 200 level, both of them exited mechanical engineering. They said, we're not doing mechanical engineering again. Like, well, what are we doing there as mechanic? So when I see women who go into mechanical engineering, I'm like, thumbs up. Women hardly go into such work. So they are very scarce to fill. And about a lot of them in the marine industry, shipping industry, oil and gas. You get some roles like this. You say, this role like this. They say, yes, it exists. How do you want to find those people? Qualified, resulting in prolonged time to fill and increased competition, changing workforce demographics. The workforce is becoming increasingly diverse in terms of age. Don't use age against anybody. I'm sure that in some few years to come, there is a woman, she's a broadcaster. I follow her, one Bimbo Oloyede, and she posted on LinkedIn that she had turned 70. I was like, what? 70? That woman looks like somebody that is just clocking mid-40s. I can imagine myself at 70. I'm not going to be as old as 70 because even now, a lot of people can't resonate with my age. So, but if I tell you that I'm that age, does that mean that you should not tell me, she's too old, she cannot do the job and all that? You shouldn't disqualify people based on that. And those are the kind of education we should be giving our employers too as well. Ethnicity, gender, cultural background, managing multi-generation. Now you now have age mate, people not well, you know, you see how people that almost close to 70. My mom is in her late 70s, but young people are almost close to 70, and they're still working, and they're able to contribute. And then you find them working with Gen Z that they say, "What? Hello, you guys." They're to their mother and father's email that you guys. They will find it very offensive, trust me. So you need to be able to manage all of those things, communication styles, and work preference. All those old school people, they will still tell you that they want paper. Like, it gives them, I don't know, joy to be seeing paper. Well, who wants paper? Some people, some organization, I worked in an organization, there was no paper again. Everything was digitalized. Rapid technological advances, attracting tech-savvy candidates, and adapting to emerging technology. Mismatch, ethical dilemmas that you might face. when actively targeting candidates employed by competitors. You have this non-compete issue that is going on, that people are signed and they'll say, oh, you cannot work for the company. Why would you, somebody, I wrote an article in Tech Point Africa about that non-compete, potentially straining professional relationships and reputations within the industry, competitive landscape where everybody is this same market you're all trying for. HR is one of the most best jobs that you have. So not anywhere. The same only one industry you can work there. If you are working as an insurance underwriter, you cannot go and live as an insurance underwriter and come and be working in the hospital as what? There. I don't know. So you will most likely be in the insurance industry. So everybody is competing for the same set of candidates, and it makes it difficult. The difficulty for poaching, so it's poaching. People will be poaching. Legal risk. When you have what are the risks? If you go and do, you see like non-compete, intellectual property, confidential agreement. Recruiters must navigate this legal complexity to avoid potential litigation. And then you have counter offers. Somebody you make offer like this. In that counter offer situation, as you're going back and forth, but another person, you that you have done the whole steps and everything again. Even counter offers from their current employer. There was one person that we tried to recruit at the time who had done everything. The day he was supposed to resume, they now called and say he's sorry, he's not resuming again. In fact, I've had so many experiences like that they've offered him a bigger role within his workspace and all of that. So we were back to square one. Creating negotiating challenges and prolonging the recruitment process. How to overcome talent acquisition challenges that celebrate diversity and foster belonging. You have diversity-centric recruitment practices where inclusive languages and imagery, establish partnerships with diversity organizations, universities, and community groups to expand candidate reach. How many of us have heard of where people they say this is an Igbo bank, this year, too many Yoruba people in this place? No. I worked in an organization where Nigerians, we were in how many countries? Nigerians, when we're doing whatever, they'll be saying, as they go, after a while, it became a problem because the other people in the East African countries, in the West African countries, the South African countries, in Asia, they'll be like, what saying, and so we have to make a rule to say, if we're doing hangouts like that, virtual hangouts, then if you are saying as they go, you go be you need to interpret to those people. Of course, you are creating an engagement because they will ask you, you will learn. Organizations need to pay attention more to inclusive and diverse environment, and even in the culture too, as well. So unbiased selection process. Don't say, oh, he's my brother. He's from the same village as me. So what? Is he the right person for the job? Don't be sentimental, whether as a recruiter, as an HR professional, whoever you are. Look at what the person is coming to do and be fair in your judgment. Don't use sentiment. We're from the same village, oh. Let me give my brother a job. Let me even make you laugh. I was in an interview and somebody, when he saw my name, he now called me later and said, Omo Yami, baby. I was like, what's this one thing? Meaning my sister, don't forget me. Am I the one that is going to make decision for you? Already, I know that you are the least performing person you are the weakest link of all the candidates that came. Of course, so that I just laugh. Of course, I knew in my mind that I don't have any business with you. And so I said, the interview has been done, and the decision is not with me. It's with whoever is going to make the recruiting manager. I'm just a facilitator, facilitating the interview. Of course, he didn't get the job. Standardized interview questions, implement blind resume screening and anonymous candidate evaluation to reduce biases in the selection process, flexible work practices where you can support employees, create an inclusive environment where people feel valued, respected, and empowered to bring their authentic selves to work. is very, very important, so that people are not living a false life. They come into, people are more productive when they come into an environment where they feel they can be themselves, they can explore, they can even do. We've seen cases of where somebody came in to do ABC, and over time, in seeing what was being done in another team, person moved into that team and even excelled. Continuous feedback and improvement. Solicit feedback from employees, candidates, external stakeholders on diversity and inclusion, and identifies areas of improvement. Ensure you address challenges. Don't leave them unaddressed. Make sure you nip, and if something is coming up that maybe that was not there before, maybe somebody wants to come and dilute your culture and all that, to try and nip it in the bud before it becomes a real pain to the organization, and it begins to go and have a domino effect to promote diversity and belonging. Yeah, I think this is the last slide. In conclusion, talent acquisition remains a crucial strategy for organizations in the coming years. By aligning your core values with top talent, businesses can drive innovation and maintain competitiveness. If you're not thinking strategically about talent acquisition, when COVID came, COVID swallowed a lot of organizations, and COVID will not be the last of such an experience we'll be having. Currently, things are happening. Look at the old dollar. If they have told us last year, I still got dollar at 500 or 600 last year. I did now. Even early this year, I still got dollars at 1,002. What is dollars today? I mean, it's something that is just absolutely prosperous. You can't even imagine it. And you can't imagine the ripple effect on people, on businesses, on everything. Everybody is in this boat together. Plus Emiloko, plus our local, everybody, like, we're all in it together at this point. And so when you are dealing with talent management or talent acquisition, as it were, you must understand those things as it relates. How many of us know that since 2 days ago, there's been issues where the internet breakdown has been? So people are having interviews. Sometimes they come to that interview and they break up, they cut off. I will not judge them based on that, because I may not be using MTN, but people who are using MTN are having a problem. If you are not an empathetic person who can think strategically, things that how can this person in the interview, the person is not talking anyhow, the person is just going on. When you should be aware of the environment that there's an issue ongoing. Although I will not say I've had a candidate who came 3 times, we rescheduled this candidate. The 4th time I had a conversation with him. I said, okay, this job is not for you. Because obviously we can't give you a chance the first time, give you another chance, give you another chance. He himself had to say maybe it's village people. I said it's not village people. It's just that you are in an environment where your internet is bad. And if you're really interested in this job, what you should have done is go to another environment. How much do you want this job? Go to another environment. Or is it a lady that came to interview and tied dropper to interview with me? Does that kind of person look like a talent that I want to recruit for anybody? That means the person is not a serious person. You come to an interview, you tie wrapper. I have the picture till today. Or you come to the interview, you start smoking. You don't even care. Or there are a lot of things too. So it has to be symbiotic. Prioritizing proactive recruitment, diverse strategies, and inclusive practices is essential for long-term success, where people can come into the organization, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter the job that they do. In closing, I'm going to ask all of us to do a small exercise. Can you tell me, out of these 3 things, and I will expect you to put it in the chat box, these 3 things, which one is the most important in a car? Your fuel gauge, right? Your speed limit, or your temperature on your dashboard. Which one is the most important? 1 minute, please. And I'm looking at it because I'm rounding up now. Okay. Miriam Deboye just says temperature. Emmanuel Ojoye says speed limit. Adedayo Olabuyi says temperature. Yeah, right. If this was a physical session, Miriam would have won a prize from me. Unfortunately, in fact, if there's a way you can, I would send you data. I mean, I'm just gonna, if there's a way you can reach out to me, I'll send you data, just a token of data, because I usually do this in when people answer questions and they get it well, I always reward them. I mean, that's me. So Marian got it. All are important. Not one is less important. And that's the way we should see all aspects of talent acquisition in terms of everything that we do. Don't say, somebody is more important. Let them recruit all of them. And when we bring all of them, we train them. And go and bring people that will just come and be doing anyhow in space. Investing in talent acquisition ensures organizations attract, develop, and retain the best talent, fostering growth and innovation in the evolving landscape. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Please, can we give a round of applause to Abolaji, please? Can we give a round of applause? Let's see your emoji in the chat box. Thank you very much, Ma. We really, really appreciate. So we'll go straight to questions now. Can see our hands in the chat box. Thank you very much. This is really an amazing session. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll just go right into question and answers. Our time is fast spent. Okay, so the attendance is in the chat box. So please, let's do justice to that. You can register your name and mark your attendance for this session. Okay, so I was trying to refresh I don't know what happened. I think it was network. The questions that were dropped earlier, I can't see them again. So please, if you can, kindly drop those questions again just for us to go over it. But I remember one particular one, so I will just share that while others drop their questions. So please, if you drop your questions earlier, kindly drop them again. Or do we have people that want to unmute their microphone? I don't know. Can we take that? Can we unmute our microphone? If you can, if you want to speak to if you want to ask your questions live, you can just unmute your microphone so that I'll share the attendance again. You can unmute your microphone and ask, or you drop a chat, please.
I can also see some here, so if
it's okay.
Yeah, I can
All
answer
right,
them.
It's very okay. So you can just go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I can do that. So somebody asked, Owolabi Ajibono, what is your advice to HR manager when he or she later discovered the referred candidate is not measuring up to the job role expectation? Referred candidate. Did the candidate go through the normal recruitment process? Excuse me. It should be very important to know that. Or was it just a case of where, they just said Olayemi is a candidate I'm referring, and we just took Olayemi without subjecting her to the regular screening process. We need to know that, because if the person has been subjected to the regular screening process, it has nothing to do with whether they were referred or not. Referring a candidate just makes it easier for you to attract your candidate. It's not a yardstick for you to take them in. So when you take them in, they should be treated as whether every employee that goes through that recruitment process, if they are not measuring up to the job role, then you apply what you have in your policy. Maybe they need to be put on a performance improvement plan or a performance improvement and development plan. Maybe they had lapses in the role or something. That's what you do in that role. However, Don't do it because it was a referred. That's something you must do for everybody. So remember when I spoke about referrals, that organization I told you, even if the chairman of the company, the chairman will refer people, but those people will go through the recruitment process. In fact, sometimes some of them are not at the first stage because maybe the screening process of the organization, they didn't go through it. He would not say because he's chairman of the organization, he will impose it on you. No, the person has to go through that process. So that's my response to that person. Okay. Somebody says, how can you detect a prospective employee who would not be a culture fit at the interview level? You already know the culture of your organization now. So like the person that was telling you, I already gave an example of how the person was talking, an organization that is thinking of something in the future. You are now advising them to go and use something in the past that nobody is using again. Already it shows that you are not agile in your thinking. So you know the culture of your organization. And then you will know, I've seen cases where some people say, this person, even though is old in age, but is young at heart, it's easier for the person to relate with young people and all that, or work with them. You know, so there are so many things that you need to look at. It depends on the culture that you have in your organization, and then the things that you ask the person. How quickly do they learn? If you one of your culture is you like learning, and you ask the person, tell me of a time when you learned. The person is that I cannot remember the last time I learned anything. Maybe the last learning opportunity was like 20 years ago. Things are no longer relevant. So that's how you get to know. Whose decision is it to design job description for a new hire? It's the job of the line manager and HR. It can't be one person. They cannot do it alone. They have to do it together with HR. HR will not leave it totally to them because HR has there will be some things that HR must go into that job description in terms of like cultural fit. The person might not be able to know what the cultural fit for the entire organization is. So that's why it's usually done alongside HR. But it's really the line manager who comes up with that job description in line with the organogram power plan for that team. So HR will be so it's a joint tax. How did you hire? If there was no JD in the first place, okay, someone was responding. I think line manager in collaboration, this person got it. Who is Precious? Very great response. You know, I didn't even see that. And it was the same thing that I said. Yesterday said, what do you think of organization that set notice period for exit during probation as a month and 2 to 3 months as a confirmed staff? I'm a bit confused about this question. Probation period. Do you think set notice period for exit? Okay, during probation is a month and 2 to 3 months as confirmed staff. Why? Maybe depending on the role. Some roles, if it's a strategic role, like in an organization that even for some roles is 6 months, you can't leave that organization. If you are a CEO, do you know how difficult it is to get a CEO? So it depends on the role. Sometimes some very strategic role, executive role within the organization that they know is going, if there's that gap, is going to affect the business. They may put a longer recruitment probation, exit period for the person. So it depends on the organization. But I think that a month, even a 2 to 3 months is too much for the staff unless the person is a high profile staff. Why would you, which means that, and I hope that this kind of person, right, when they also want to terminate the person's appointment, they do 3 months, 2 to 3 months notice to be able to terminate the person's appointment as well. What do you think? Okay, I think it shouldn't be more than 2 weeks. Well, everybody just, it depends on what the organization thinks in line with the labor law. Just be sure that you are not breaking the Labor Act. When it comes to laws, you can do above, you can't do below. I don't think anything is wrong acting that. However, your JD, okay. Okay. Recession. I think that's all that I can see here. Yeah, I think that's the questions that I can see.
Oh, okay. All right. So any other questions?
Okay,
I think.
question here. Somebody said, sorry.
Okay.
What's your advice if an employee is unwilling to report to the assigned supervisor? No employee can be greater than a system. Sorry, give me one second.
All right.
You know, we live in Nigeria. I don't I had to put on the inverter. What's your you can't say that, to be honest. An employee cannot say they are unwilling to report to their assigned supervisor. Well, you need to be able to, I mean, it's not that you come and say, oh, if it's that, everybody will be saying, how many people really like their bosses? Let's think about it. Go and take a poll and ask how many people like their supervisors. I don't think it will not be up to 50%. I can bet it. It will not be up to 50%. But you can't, because you don't like your supervisor, now say you don't want to work with the person. Is it that you are ready to leave the organization? However, what most organizations do is when there is a consistent report about that supervisor, the organization may need to start acting to be sure of why everybody is complaining about that particular supervisor. But you can't outrightly just say you are not reporting to your supervisor. So that's it. Is there anything wrong with a prospective asking questions about the expectation of? There's nothing wrong in asking employer about the expectations of the organization from him in the first 90 days. It's a very good question. It shows that you're ready to work and all of those things. I think that's all the question I can see.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma. We really appreciate. Thank you so much. I'll call on Oluwatoyin to do the appreciation. Please, can you confirm if you can hear us, Oluwatoyin? Okay. I'm not sure she can hear us. All right. So for people saying that they cannot, some people are finding it difficult to log in their attendance. I don't know why. I was able to click on the link and it was going. So I want to believe that it's network. I want to believe that it's network. So please, let's register attendance. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Management Committee, and the entire AEHRP members, we appreciate your time, Ma. We really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing with us from your wealth of knowledge and experience. Please, can we give her a round of applause once again? Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Thank you for the insightful session. We really learned a lot. I can see contributions in the chat box. People were dropping their experiences and we've learned a lot. So we are really grateful about that. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We hope to see you some other time to learn from this wealth of experience.
Beautiful.
Thank
you. Bolaji.
Thank you, beautiful Bolaji.
On behalf of the Global President of Association of Elite Human Resource Professionals, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. We did not take this time for granted. And I'm sure that we will go back in our ways to improve our processes and get the best out of our talent. Wish you all a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And
thank you
for those that were not able to log in their attendance. Thank God for technology. We'll pick it up from Zoom report. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So that is fine. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, everyone. Any announcement, any information you want to pass across before we round up for today?
Okay. At the top of my head, another session will be coming up next week. That's the 23rd of March, 2024. So let's get prepared as we have another awesome session as usual.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so we have come to the end of the session.
Sorry, my name is
Okay.
Shola. In addition to what Oluwatoyin said, the flyer
Okay.
for the Friends for 2024 is out. So there's a discount already. So we can also make use of that opportunity between now to 31st of May to make our payment for the conference so that we don't get the last minute rush and all that. So we can check the Telegram group to also check for the amount. For members is 50,000, non-members is 60,000. So currently there is a 10% discount running till 31st of May. So we can also put that at the back of our mind and work towards it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So please let's take advantage of the discount and make our payment early enough. So thank you everyone for coming to share, to learn and unlearn this evening. We really appreciate your presence. So see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.